Yo. Okay. So my stream's live and everything, so let's do this. Alright, so now,
Okay.
what do you want to do? You want to just continue from yesterday where we left off, or...
That sounds good to me.
Alright, cool. So let's do it. Let's, pick up where we left off and have you start off doing, PvZ and see where you are in comparison to that first game that we saw.
Okay.
So let me just find you. There you are. Yeah, and also just say something so I can invite you easier.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, so you ready to do this?
I am.
Cool, let me just bring in an AI, Hard Zerg, and let's do this. Alright, so let's see. Alright. I'm still just slightly groggy from trying to sleep, so just I'll need like a minute or two just to get my brain back. But I
No
am
problem.
here, just so you know. Alright.
So many programs running. Slowing down.
Hopefully it loads eventually, because that would suck if it didn't.
No, it's gonna work.
Okay. Yay! No! Okay.
What is going on?
You were lagging for a second, so that's what I saw.
Oh, okay.
So now let's see what you can do. Just remember bill placement, money, probes, pylon, because, yeah, there you go.
Hmm.
Alright, cool. Idle probe. There you go. Should be building a probe too. You're just currently boosting nothing.
Oh. Darn.
Don't you? Do you have the all? You should have the health bars always on, so you should be able
Yeah,
to
they are.
see all the production things as they happen. Wait a second. Why aren't you shift queuing like you were doing yesterday?
With
After you build
what?
something.
Oh, I'm just a little rusty right now.
Okay.
Just got done playing WoW, so I just have that in my brain.
Okay.
Darn.
You just said 4 guys at the gas.
Thank you.
No problem. Taking expansion soon. Just remember to spend your money and get your money going and make sure that you don't get supply blocked. Because right now you're getting to the point where you're going to be supply blocked very quickly. Also, remember to send your probe before you need the money to build something. And if you're worried about supply block, you need to build that pylon ASAP, and that's when building placement does not matter as much. You just want the pylon down.
Alright.
Research complete.
You need a pylon.
We cannot hold.
Battle.
Base is under attack.
Your force field's misplaced. You need it to the right 1 hex. So otherwise it's not a full wall off and those roaches could theoretically glitch through. Just so you know. That's
Right,
also
alright.
still misplaced. That's also too high up, the roaches will still be able to attack you. And try and wait a little bit longer. You have the 15 seconds that the force field stay up.
Wow. I can't believe I did that. I've never like experienced force fields like blocking a ramp like that.
That's exactly what they're used for. So just remember that early game, that will literally save you, and it's part of your build. Remember me when I was outlining the PVZ that I was doing and how it was pure sentries?
Yes.
That's exactly
yeah.
why.
That's why I remembered that they have force fields.
Good. Very good. Oh no, my phone just dropped. Oh god. Alright, I'm good. Never mind. Alright, transfer a few probes to your natural. Take some from your main.
I already did that.
Oh, you did? Alright, cool.
Yeah.
I dropped my phone, so I must have missed that.
Upgrade. I'm here.
Watch your money, it's starting to skyrocket.
Yeah, I see that.
You're also supply blocked, and you're fixing your supply block with a proxy pylon. That should not be the case, because you're about to be supply blocked the second you warp in these next couple units.
Okay,
You need
I
a
see
lot,
that now.
yeah, lumber pylons in advance.
You must construct additional pylons. You must construct additional pylons. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Force fields, forces to escape. Get a wall of them so you can retreat. There you go. Now you can pull back. Alright, he's going to continue pushing up, so why are you not warping reinforcements? There you go. You need more production facilities, you need pylons just in case. You're at 89 out of 92. Watch your army. Army.
Uh,
Base is under attack. Your probes are under attack. Base is under attack. Base is under attack.
aren't Hydralisks like good against stalkers?
Incredibly. Without blink, stalkers can almost do nothing. Alright, but this is GG. So let's go ahead and move out and something else for now.
Okay.
Because there's definitely something that needs to be worked on. Because you basically need a plan. Because we're trying to work more on mechanics and spending and everything. And granted, that's not great and all, but you're still at 53 probes and you're still not at like 5k or something. So we need to add in the plan, and then we'll combine the two and work on both at the exact same time.
Okay.
Let's see. So what have you been liking in PvZ that you see pros do or something along those lines?
Well, usually I see roaches a lot more often than Hydralisks, and I like the Sentry force field play a lot, and then like occasional Colossi, I'm pretty sure, but that's more for Marines, I thought. I mean, it might work for mass units like roaches or something like that, and I'm not really sure the exact like high tech stuff like that. Like if I should go for Stargate or which is better,
Alright.
like a Stargate or Robo or something like that.
Well, what Protoss strategy do you have like a player that you really enjoy watching?
White Raw?
White Raw?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, what do you see him do in PvZ?
Losing?
Alright, well then let's just okay, I'm just gonna give you my build, okay?
Okay.
Alright, so you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's one gate expand. It's a pretty simple concept behind it. You saw me just outline it quickly yesterday with the one gate expand, first zealot, you got your wall off in the front, and did you see the video that I sent you?
Yeah, I watched it a few times.
Okay, cool. So remember that
Practice it.
building placement because I want you to emulate that for the start. I'm going to be just saying what I do as I do it. You're going to try and repeat it at the, well, inevitably a couple seconds behind me. But that means that the entire build should be a couple seconds behind you. And I want you constantly chrono boosting probes until I tell you otherwise. I can tell you right now, your build order is going to be pylon at the front, gateway at the front, assimilator, pylon. Then you're going to get your cybernetics core down, and after that, it's next assimilator, and then a few other things. But we're going to worry about that then. Okay. But you can
Do you want me to scout? Or...
yeah, scout on your pylon.
Okay.
Okay. I also want you to control your probe. I want your probe never stop moving and don't queue up more than 1 or 2 things. Okay? As far
Okay.
as shift movement goes. Because you're getting to the stage where you need to start being really, really efficient with what you're doing. If you're going to want to have a hope of being able to just execute things in-game. Because you noticed in that last game you were running around and you're trying to control your army while your macro was failing, and the
Mm-hmm.
Hydras were starting to perform and getting a lot of free kills because your sentries weren't throwing down force fields, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
let's start working on trying to fix that along with build orders, plans, and execution. I want the main focus on the build orders and plans themselves, but you should still be able to control your scout with just a few movements going back and forth, keeping your hands moving, always checking different things, and just really, really focusing on as much as you can at once. But do not sacrifice your build order. That's the main thing, is do not sacrifice your build order and your general plan for the game. Because those are the most important things. So you should get it. Whoops. Ah, why can't I misclick? There we go. Cybernetic score should be going down now, pretty much. Oops. Yeah, I misclicked on overplay.
Then you blocked up with a forge in the video, right?
That was because I scouted the 6 pool. You do not do that first. It's cybernetic score. So you have your second gas. You should have your zealot on the way, and you should be building another pylon also, and chronoing out your probes. Your cybernetic score should be completing your wall off, making it 1 zealot wide.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't. Don't worry about that for now. That's next game fix. You should be getting your
Someone
warp gate and a sentry after your zealot. Zealot goes on a hold position at your choke, and you start chrono boosting out those sentries. You should have your second gas.
You require more Vespene gas.
Your zealot should be done. You should also be working it down to move down to build your nexus. Okay.
Okay, my expansion. All right.
Yeah, my expansion is now down. And you're going to want to throw down a pylon at your ramp at the bottom, not the top.
Okay.
You continue to produce sentries. You're continuing to build probes. All these good stuff. All this good stuff. Oh wait, what am I doing? You're going to want to form a little bit of a wall at your natural, kind of similar to what you're doing at your main base of your ramp, because you want a 1 zealot wide choke somewhere in there just to help Lane Cheese just fail horribly. That's the goal.
You have not enough minerals.
Okay. Remember to add all you guys to your hotkeys.
I have my 2 gateways on a hotkey, and then I have my probe on a hotkey.
What about your Nexus and what about your units?
My Nexus are both on hotkeys,
Good.
and my army is going to be on a hotkey.
Okay, it should be on a hotkey right now.
Alright, it is on hotkey right now.
Good.
Not enough energy.
Okay. You should have more gateways. You should run your assimilator, and you should have a 4th gateway building, making sure you're not getting supply blocked.
Okay.
You also be hallucination too. You need hallucination. I think I didn't mention that. It's hard to actually try and focus on the build and do all this stuff at the same time. But yeah, and now is when you'd be pushing out with a proxy pylon with your army. I'm just going to do that just so you can see it in the replay when we take a look at that. But that is not the first focus. Hallucination is going to be done. I'm going to use that to scout your opponent, so I'll do that to show you. Don't worry about that too much right now. We're just checking out just the generics of this build for now. As you can see, I'm scouting, I'm seeing your stuff. Your warp gate should be out by now, too.
Oh, it is up. I just didn't build it.
You have to do that ASAP. You always, always, always want those warp gates. Next, you're going
I
to
was
want...
just gonna
Yeah,
finish building the units, so.
okay. So next, you're going to want out a couple more gateways, as well as your Robo Forge and a Twilight Council. Because you need those tech structures. You're also going to be working on a third in a minute or two. You want your army in a good position to defend just about everything. But your first priority is going to be making sure they can stay alive. That's what the Phoenixes are for. And put on a slight bit of pressure to just damage your Zergy opponent in a good way. Make sure you're getting more gas and all that, mining your sim layers the second you can, being efficient, getting blink, and you're going to be adding on your 5th gateways and on as a wall off to your 3rd if you need it. Metalopolis is a map where you do, so you're going to focus on that. And I will be finishing this up in a second. Okay, cool.
Okay, getting blink.
Good.
Hallucination has been done.
You should be using that to scout me. I want you to be able to
Oh,
tell
so
me.
I should turn them into phoenixes with hallucination?
Yeah.
Or, oh, that's cool. Okay.
You should
I've
be
never
getting out
used that
observers
before.
also to scout. Yeah, it's actually really, really, really important to do. You should be getting blink so you have a large amount of aggressive capabilities and micro good things that will give you a lot of opportunities in the game. Just to be able to have useful and cost-effective units. Blink is one of the best spells in the entire game.
I use it a lot, so.
Good, because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, and you can also attack the Templar right now too. Make sure you have observers, at least one with your army, another one running around scouting. You should be, your 3rd base and everything should be up. You should see everything that I have right now with that Phoenix.
Yeah, so.
Okay, good. You should be continuing to get more upgrades because you have the Twilight Council and everything available. Don't get charged quite yet. You want to make sure you don't die, and then you can get the research if you want. But pretty much your focus right now is just to make sure that your economy is strong, because I basically have 3 fully saturated bases right now.
I'm building my 3rd one right now.
Okay. You can see that. Alright. But just so you know, that 3rd that you're doing right now is about 2 minutes late.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm behind on gateways a little bit because I have way too much money.
That should be fixed. In fact, it's kind of important to be fixed.
It will be fixed.
Make sure you mine from all your gases too and everything, because that's also pretty important stuff. Okay. So now, what do I have going? What am I doing for, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something that you have to scout in order for you to know. Alright, what is the structure that should worry you at my natural expansion?
The what?
The structure that should worry you at my natural expansion.
The structure?
Yeah. That's in my natural expansion that you should worry about.
I'm looking for it. I don't see anything.
Well, you should.
The Dark Shrine?
Yes. Good job.
I'm getting Zelda charge. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's very good. I've actually done the same thing. Okay. What's your attack upgrades looking like right now?
I don't have any.
You should, because you should have a forge and everything right now at this point. That means you
I
have
have
to
a
use
forge,
it.
yeah.
You should have to use it.
I'm chrono boosting it right now. So.
Alright. That's good. So mine, I'm working on +3 attack right now.
It's a lot of attack.
I'm also, how many bases do I have?
You have, what I saw was 2. Wait, the patrolling that's really good for observers and stuff like that, right?
No, not for observers. You don't want to
Okay.
be patrolling. You want to be controlling them yourself. You want to know exactly where they're going, what they're seeing at all times.
Okay.
Because it encourages you to not look at them if you just have them on a patrol pattern, because then you're on autopilot saying, oh, well, I automatically see everything. But are you actually internalizing everything is the main issue that you need to think about. Because information is worthless if you're not going to use it.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that you have a bunch of gateways that aren't turned into...
Really? Because look again.
Yeah. Well, I saw them before you destroyed my poor little observer.
Well, are you maxed yet?
No, not at all.
Okay, well, I am. So we're going to do a battle soon just for fun.
Alright.
I am the voice of the eclipse. Intriguing, you require my skills. We are one with the shadows.
Can't kill my Archon. Just kidding.
That must be placed. My charge. We shall. I am the heart of darkness. Upgrade complete.
So close.
Alright, come on. Try and recover. Spend your macro. You should honestly be, Oh, well, that's,
Oh man.
what's with those probes?
I was gonna send him to an expansion.
Oh, well, probably shouldn't send them when my army's there. Alright, so yeah, this is, basically done. I haven't really lost anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, got to say GG.
It's all good. Okay, so now take a look at the replay. And this is basically the general build that I would like you to do, or at the very least keep the generalities of literally what I'm doing and work on that for your own stuff. So go ahead, get into the game, and get to 0-0-0. It's 0-0?
Yeah.
Alright, go to ×2.
Okay.
Alright, so on 3, 2, 1, we play, and then I'm going to just say a little bit of the build in general, like stuff that you probably already heard me say, but you need to really, really, really recognize, because this is what you're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. So, you know the beginning of the build. It's pylon at the front. You're then getting your gateway, and then you put the you put the cybernetics core right there to make it a 1 hex wide space in between the cybernetics core and the pylon, and it's flush with the gateway. So that way you just have the 6 pool. You can do what you showed you in the video, where you put down the forge, the cannon, the cybernetics core, and everything to defend against a 6 pool. You're locked down tight for any early pool that Zerg can send you. So you're safe for the first 3 to 4 minutes of the game. After that, it's chrono out sentries once your zealot is done, because you have your double gas and you want to get your fast nexus out. With that fast nexus, you then are able to have an economy. You then, because I'm having you chrono boost out your sentries, you can poke, do a little push, and because you can force field, you lock down those force fields. Zerg, it's very hard for Zerg to get a guaranteed kill on your army. With that type of play, you can force out a few units that are not drones, weaken the Zerg's economy. You don't even need to commit to the attack. You can even just push out, grab a watchtower, deny Zerg vision, scare the Zerg, retreat, and you're okay. You can even then move on from there to getting a fast third base, wall it off, get a few cannons, be safe, and locked in tight. The 3-base Protoss is very, 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 very strong. So if you can do that, you're basically good. The problem is getting there without dying sometimes, as you saw when, as you saw with the game against the computer with the Hydra push that came in and made you incredibly vulnerable and you just died to it. This is the kind of stuff that you need to prevent with things like having lots of sentries. Losing those sentries when you push out and you have about 7 of them, that's 700 gas that you would then lose if those died. That's a massive, massive, massive investment. So you need to be careful with your sentries and make sure they don't die, because that in itself can be a game losing loss. It's kind of a weird way to say it, but you get the point. So now, I want you to start talking, because now that you're starting to see the build order and the placement of all my buildings, you can see the logic behind it.
Yeah,
So, like, look at my
definitely.
natural expansion and everything as it's going to be progressing, and now I want you to start talking about the possibilities of what you see with this, where tech patterns can go, what the economies look like, and just take a look at the game timer periodically and realize what is available at that time.
Okay, well, you have your warp gates are all up, and they're actually producing units whenever you get the chance. Your gases, you're putting down 2 gases in a pylon to keep from getting supply blocked. You had about 10 more units than me, 10 more supply than me, food. And the warp gates were getting used, and the block that you have with them seems really helpful, because you can just easily block off that one space with like a force field or something. The tech structures, there's the forge is going down. You can get that those upgrades that you were talking about earlier. Your chrono is always being used.
Alright,
You seem to get a little bit high
Alright,
on minerals.
I want you to say more about the implications, not just give me a play-by-play, because I know the
Okay,
play-by-play
yeah.
I did it.
Yeah. Well, you have all the sentries, obviously. Everything's being, like, you want to use that, like, right when you get these upgrades ready, you want to be able to use them. So, like, when you have your Twilight Council and stuff in your main, so they can't get destroyed really easily if someone just goes after the natural. When mine was way out. And there's the observer. So you can see, and then if you can see if you actually want to attack at that specific moment.
Yeah, also, take a look at just the vision of what you and me know. Just think about scouting, because now you're starting to see the progression of games, expansions, army compositions, and everything. You need to start thinking about how you can realize this stuff while you're playing against an opponent that is completely unknown. Because it's that unknown factor that really, really, really screws players over, is when they start laddering for the first time, because they just don't know the possibilities. So you need to start trying to make reads and saying, okay, if I look here, here, and here at this time, I'll know the base count and the amount of resources this guy might be able to have, which will then lead to what size army could he have. And you can move on from there and start trying to get this information within game using things like observers and hallucinated phoenixes. So just look around and just press 2 and just compare what you know versus what I know as you start moving around.
You have the watchtower, so you don't really see that I'm. You see all of my buildings being made.
You must construct a research complete.
You're not really like scouting anything. I mean, you know what I have in my base, so you can counter that.
Yeah, I'm just macroing talking to you in the game.
Yeah.
But just take a look at base counts and everything. And the fact that you don't know what I'm doing at all, really.
Yeah.
And do you rebuild your observer after you lose it to those cannons?
No, I didn't.
It's a key thing. You should always have multiple observers on the field. So I'm pretty sure you killed an observer mine, and I still have 2 out. You do have 1 more, but he's just with your army, I assume.
Yeah.
So, you need more. You need to rebuild those observers. They're really, really important. Plus, look at your money. How can you spend that money? Because that's huge.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Like, you had more expansions that you can, and you had pylons always being placed. That's tons of money being spent right there.
Mineral field depleted.
You had multiple robotics facilities instead of just one.
I never
Your
got to use them,
gateways.
though, because I was max.
Yeah, that's another way to spend it, though. And your forge was always using some minerals. Uh, you were always building more expansions. That's mostly what I see.
Okay.
It's finished. I mean, I could probably spend more money on like a cannon or something for defense.
There's more than that. A big thing about this game, let's just take a look at benchmarks and compare where we are, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Go to just 5 minutes. Fairly early in the game. Nothing crazy can really happen at this point. And just see if there's any differences between where you are and what I am, and if there are, how you can fix them. Just go through everything, like even if it's just flipping through the tabs, and just talk to me about differences. 5 minutes in the game, literally 5:00.
Okay. 5 minutes. I wasn't even building warp gates, even though I had the cybernetics core obviously out. That expansion was coming out, so you had a lot less minerals than I had stocked up. You were building another pylon so you wouldn't get supply blocked. You had a lot more of an army out. You had 3 units when I had 1. And even though my Q was being used, you didn't have a Q, and you still had less minerals than I did, thanks to that extra expansion.
Say more. Because I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Why is it that I can have more? Where is the what are the missing pieces that are making you be that 4 food behind? What's the difference? Because it's 5 minutes into the game, and there's a distinct difference. Where is that coming from, and how can you fix it?
And I don't know. That's what I want to know.
All right. Well, think about possibilities.
Probes.
That's a huge part of it. That's literally it. With one word answer, that's it. But take a look at how the probes got there. You can see how I'm 2 probes ahead, but look at the spending tab. Just press S and you'll see that. And you'll see that I have somehow managed to mine, let's see,
600 more.
900 more than you.
900?
At
Oh, technology or...
5 minutes in everything, overall.
Oh, okay.
I've somehow managed to mine 900 more than you. If you take into account the difference in our banks, I've mined 600 more than you.
Yeah.
So 600 more than you means that I've mined a lot more with faster probes. These faster probes have allowed me to get out all these small little tiny differences that in the end gives me a stronger army, a expansion, as well as a larger food count overall. So let's take a look at what you did. You right now have no warp gate that could be researched. The money is there, so no harm there. A big thing, the largest thing that the difference that we have right now is the fact that you haven't mined from your second geyser at all, and you have a second zealot queued up and a sentry queued up. This second zealot is immediately taking out for you the possibility of having an expansion at this moment in time. In fact, you could have had an expansion already down, plus another 50 minerals earlier, because that zealot should be a sentry. Your minerals would then be higher, your expansion would be at the exact same timing as mine, and then your only loss in the expansion timings would be nil, because you'd have it up. And if you move on to this other parts of the things, that your chrono right now is behind mine in literally by 1 point, which means you're not that far behind me in terms of chrono, but that shows a efficiency difference where your chronos are later than mine. Your probes come out later than mine.
Hmm.
So I've had more probes out for longer, mining for a longer period of time, and these tiny, tiny differences in the 5 minutes of the game have accounted for me having an additional 600 resources over you. And the reason why I'm hammering this in so much is because your early game efficiency completely snowballs the lead, the position that you're in, and everything as the game goes on. So if you're behind 600 minerals in the early start of the game, that's only going to become 2,000 when you hit 15 minutes in. If you get to a 25-minute game, all of a sudden you're going to be behind 10,000. It's going to get huge things to the point where your end game sucks because your early game was only a few seconds off. All right?
Yeah, I
And
see.
yes, what?
I see. It's 100% obvious now that I
Yeah.
complete like I just analyze it, it. You just had everything like the probes. Like even if it's just going back and clicking a second late, you're always 1 second. You're getting that 1 second ahead each time I'm making a probe. Something like
Yeah.
that's just another thing that I noticed. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's come out of the game and let's do this again. Take a look. Now that you've done this build once exactly, I want you to do it again, and I want you to ace it, which is an impossible request of you, but you need to. I want to see improvement. I want to see a distinct improvement. I want to see things locked down. It's one zealot only, and then pure sentries. I want you chronoing your probes the second you can. I want no supply blocks, and I want a nexus down to the 5 minute mark. Got it?
Yep.
You ready?
My 3 key isn't working.
Your 3 keys not working?
Yeah.
That's a little weird.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second and I'll fix it.
Okay. It's a little weird. Alright, well, might as well take a look at the chat then. Okay.
Really don't know why this key isn't working.
Okay.
Because that's what I use for my selecting my nexus.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Okay. So, what does this mean? Can you...
Just give me like 1 second and I'll see if I can do one more thing.
Okay.
So I can play without it and just.
Okay.
Okay, it's working.
It's working? You good?
Yes.
You ready
Yeah,
to start?
I am.
Good. Let's do this then. And by the way, I kind of have every intention of going over today because this stuff is really important, just so you know. I'm going to give you
Yeah.
a fair warning. I want to go over. Okay. Alright. And I'm going to actually give you a request that will help you do this better. I don't want you to worry about building placement. I want if you're for some reason a few minerals behind from where you're about to go to build a building, I want you to place it. So even if you're
Okay.
if you're walking and you have 100 minerals and you're like, oh god, I forgot to build my pylon, just build it directly next to your probe or something, because you're right
Okay.
now your money in production is what I want to see.
You have not enough minerals.
I'll try and be better with saying the exact building that I'm making at that time. Make it a little bit
Okay,
easier, but
it's fine.
that will not be perfect.
You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals.
Don't forget your chrono. Wherever the second you can, you chrono. You should have just on a chrono, and you should not have stopped probes. Okay.
You have not enough minerals.
Okay.
You have not enough. You have not.
Your second gas should be down. Your starman score should be started. You should be working on your zealot once you can build it without halting probe production.
You have not enough minerals.
You should be about to put down a pylon too, so you don't get supply blocked.
You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals.
And remember, only one zealot, sentries after, chrono the sentries.
Okay.
You should be just avoiding a supply block. I literally had a a half shutdown message before you could actually finish saying you must build additional pylons. I had it finished. So there's a tight time for you to think about. You should be working on getting out your nexus next. You should have your probes setting down there, your units coming down, and an increase in sentry count and everything.
Okay.
You will have to cut probes for a half second here, so that's okay. But really keep in mind that you should be so close to zero at whenever you place down a building or another unit or something.
You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals.
Actually, I just made a mistake. I didn't get my second pylon out.
Enough minerals.
Oh well. So now you have an opportunity to be ahead of me because I just got supply blocked.
Mm-hmm. Are you building a second gateway already?
I'll be having my second and third being thrown down in about the second one down, third one's now down. Okay. You chrono out those sentries, and you're gonna want to also get a fourth gate down after you get down one more pylon.
Okay.
This gateway should be in your main if you can get it there, but it doesn't matter if you can't. Bases and everything.
Should I chrono warp gates at all? Like the technology?
No, actually. Not with this
Okay.
build.
Research complete.
Generally, most builds will have you do that. This one, you don't have to worry about that too much. It's
So how
weird.
did you take your units, your probes down already?
Oh, yes, I did.
All right. Wow, I actually have money. This is amazing.
You actually have money low, or you have too much money?
It's low at the moment.
Good, because you'll be spending all of your warp gate cycles on units. You should be working on getting out your probes and your hallucinated phoenix and everything.
Okay, hallucination. That's one thing I forgot.
Okay. Make sure you don't get supply block. Make sure you get those probes and everything out, and you're continuing to get out units.
I have way too many supply pylons at the moment.
That's honestly better than too few. You also only have 2 guys on that gas on your natural.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna be pushing out now. What to do? I'm not gonna do that against you. And now it's gonna be also time to get out. Next couple things. Okay.
So are you building a robo or something at the
Yep,
moment?
I got a Robo, Twilight, and Forge on the way. My army's in a good intermediate position between my natural and my third. I'll be starting to get out my my next base up soon.
I seem to be low on gas. I'm going for a
That's
third
okay.
expansion.
Yep, use the money for third expansion, and also wall off. Remember my Sim City down there? I want you to do that exact same thing if you can. If you can't, no worries. Just focus on keeping your money low and spending your money, etc., etc. So we can work on getting Blink and some observers out soon, too.
Okay.
And you should still be producing those probes and everything. Your next inflow of production facilities will be at your third, so keep that in mind.
I got supply blocked by about 2 seconds.
That's okay, 2 seconds is fine. It's pretty much negligible at this point. But continue to work on this and make sure you're also still producing, you're still chrono boosting, you're still upgrading, and you should be looking to be pretty solid on those fronts. If you want to work to some kind of tech and everything, feel free to do that. I'm going to start working on just Templar tech because I like Psystorm. You can have whatever reasons you want. If you want to go for Colossi or whatever, it's all good. Alright, so now you know my third timing, so that's definitely good scouting information for you. Okay. Make sure you're still upgrading. I just finished my +1. I'm going to start building out some Immortals. And I have that with a lot of tech going on. I've got 400 total resources, and make sure that you are not getting supply block and getting your pylons down. Spend your chrono on some kind of something. Whatever you want to spend it on, it's all good. Just spend it. Okay.
Great, now my E key isn't working.
You want to pause?
It's fine. Should be okay.
Okay.
So I noticed in your video you were sending your probes that you were making your main base to your third expansion?
Yeah, because my main was already saturated just fine.
Okay.
Oh,
Do you know how many probes it is exactly in one expansion that'll like max it out with 2 per mineral? I'm pretty sure that's what
16.
it is.
16 is 2 per mineral, and you're going to want a bit more than that. You're probably going to want more like 20 or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is double forging okay?
Yes, I wouldn't recommend it in PvZ, but you can do it in both PvT and PvP if you would like. Watch your money.
That's still a tad bit high.
Okay, well, spend it.
On a mothership.
Go for it. Whatever you want to spend it, just spend it. I want you to spend it. You'll notice that it's starting to get harder to spend the chrono boost and everything.
Definitely.
Oh, really?
I noticed it. Seem to be lacking gas.
Also, make sure I
okay
didn't just
to-
block your fourth with that probe, so you might want to just check on that.
Oh, do you mind if that's happening? Because I don't really have the time to stop him.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Oh, he killed him. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
And honestly, it's a good thing to do, so don't worry about it.
I usually don't go for both, but I decided to. Why not?
Well, it's a good idea, especially if you can get away with it, because that means also, as far as strategicness and everything of that decision goes, you already have the Twilight Council tech up, so why not go for it, almost? Okay, so what food are you at right now?
182.
Good, you're getting better. I'm maxed now. So this is actually looking really good. So now let's just leave the game and see what it is, because we're actually now at 57 minutes, so there's no really point in saying like, oh, la, 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 la.
I noticed that it was a lot better.
Yeah. Alright, so open with the replay, times 2 it, and you're going to talk from the beginning. So let me know what you see, what you read, what you think should be changed, what is good, what is bad, what you think should do better if you want to change anything. I just want you to talk. Let's just start the game at the same point, go to the beginning, and just go times 2, and let me know when you want to start.
Alright, I'm loading it up. I'm gonna fix my E key really quick. I have the
Okay.
chance.
Alright, so let's open up the chat, guys. That chrono. Matzor! Hello, Matzor. Hello, Matzor. Don't really know you, that's cool. So what's up, Matzor? I've not seen you before, so just hello to you. What's up? I'm curious what league and everything you are. I don't really know yeah, but first off, hi guys. It's nice to have you all in here. I'll waste a little bit of time. I know my macro wasn't perfect that game. I was like trying to talking to a lot of the whole teaching thing and all that. So yeah, there's no other management in this. That's why I'm just talking and trying to just go in. So,
Alright, well, I had a phone call, so.
alright.
And I fixed my E key.
Ah, good combination of stuff.
I know.
Okay, so you ready to do this?
It's ×2, right?
Times 2.
You said?
So 3, 2, 1, play.
Should I be watching yours or mine?
You should be
Or-
looking at both, comparing, or just doing whatever you want to try and realize what's happening.
Okay. At the beginning you had like 10 more minerals than me, probably because of like a quick lag at the start or something. I had a lot more income than you because, well, actually we had about the same income until your probe went out. And then mine's got a little bit higher because I didn't scout. So my stuff should have been building a lot faster, like just a tad bit faster than yours. You had Chrono going at the same time for most of it.
Okay.
I built my assimilator first, and my gateway was a little bit faster than yours. My second pylon was about the same time as your second pylon, but it was farther out. Your assimilator was getting used as soon as it could, like right when it came out. You had units there, and mine kind of took a few seconds. We started building Azella about the same time. And I still had about a 40 mineral income boost from you, but you had a lot more gas being used. And your harvesters, so I was getting a lot more minerals and you were getting a lot more gas, and then it started evening out after I realized that my second assimilator was done. You were chronoing out your sentries, and it took me a bit to get that, and I didn't actually build a third sentry for a while, which is why my money was a little bit higher. I probably didn't have enough minerals at the time because of the gas. I had one idle worker. We had one harvester difference. My army spending was a lot less, and my economy was 100 under yours at this 6 minutes. units that we had out, you had two more probes than me, one more sentry. Your second expansion was had two. Yeah, you had that wall for your expansion. I exited. I kept mine in my base, and you were using that. I saw you researching the hallucination, and then brought your gas down a little bit more.
All right,
I
stop.
didn't
But
actually start.
stop a little more with the
Huh?
play-by-play and go more with implications, reasons,
Okay.
and deeper thinking. Because you're saying things that are true, so I can't follow you
Yeah.
on that. But
Yeah.
go a little more into why there may be differences and why our food gaps are starting to increase.
My warp gates weren't getting used when they were even off cooldown. It took a while for them to actually get used, so that's why your food count was a lot higher. But you said you were getting supply blocked at the a lot earlier, which I should have been able to make up for that,
Okay.
but I didn't. You had a lot. Your you had a lot more sentry. You had more sentries, which means you were using more gas, which is probably why I didn't. I was having trouble with gas later because I wasn't building sentries and I wasn't really farming for gas because I didn't realize that I needed it.
Okay. All right. What time are you at right now?
I'm at 11.
11. All right. Stop
Hmm.
there. Um. Okay. So if you're at 11,
Hmm.
just quickly, I want you to break down every little tiny thing we have, where each difference is, and think about what we can do with what we have. So just break down everything, everything, building
Like
and
the
placement
units?
units,
Oh, building
everything,
plan? Okay.
everything. What do you see?
I don't know if this might. Your Nexus was right next to your Twilight Council, so it was easier to see if it was researching, and your Forge was right next to your Nexus, your main, so that you could notice it was researching a lot faster than I could. The building, you had a wall on every single expansion that you were making, and you didn't have you had units on the other side. I just kind of had my units spread out wherever I felt like I could make them. When I built my expansion, I had a lot more. I didn't really build like a pylon so I could put down that wall, which caused my gas and minerals to, well, like mainly my minerals was about 400 higher than you, because if I would have made something like a wall, I could have used those gateways and that would have made my minerals a lot lower. So maybe next time I could do that.
Okay. Continue.
The
Say more things. Compare a different aspect of where we are right now. Think something.
um,
If you don't know what to say something. I want sounds coming out of your mouth. I don't
you
care if
could
they sound
see
bad.
everything in my base. Well, everything that I was making in my main and natural, because your observer was moving around. The lack of an observer just kind of, and then my Phoenix wasn't even. It just kind of died off because I didn't think about it when I actually got it. It took me a while to actually use it. I don't know. I started just making random, like I made a Stargate when I don't even know why I needed a Stargate. I just felt like I wanted to go for a fleet beacon, I guess, and I never really used the Stargate, so those minerals weren't being used correctly. The food counts were even, yeah, exactly. Like, well, by one, you had one more than me, and you had an extra pylon down, and you were building a lot more. No, you weren't. You were building cannons for that wall.
Keep going. Sound. Give me
The
sound.
the
Sound.
your Nexus was almost done, but you didn't bring any units. You didn't bring any workers over at the it probably had a few seconds left, and that wall probably would have prevented the units from getting over there in time. Like just when it started, you had a lot more hotkeys than me, and that seemed to be you seemed to be using them all, especially because you had that you had a probe getting ready to build another expansion, which you which was going to be mine, and you corrected that. I heard a lot, like a lot of people go for the high load, but you didn't do that. I don't know if that would, if you did that for a specific reason. Maybe if you didn't want to get too much money or fight over that position.
The high-low? I mean
The high load, the
the
rich,
gold? Oh, the gold?
yeah, gold, yeah.
Why do you think I
Oh,
didn't get the
high load.
gold? What's the possible reason for that?
Well, a lot of people fight over the high load, well, the rich, the gold, because it gives them more of an economy to spend their units on. And maybe if you didn't want to get involved at that particular moment, you wouldn't have built an expansion there, almost like baiting someone to come and get you, and then you just come in from the side. Or, but I didn't see I had a Templar Archives about to be built, I'm pretty sure, and you just had a Twilight Council, but the blink was your blink was done. No, I hadn't even started blink. So you were going to use your stalkers a lot more, even though we had the even amount. If you could have maybe like blinked around, if we had gotten into a confrontation at like gold or something, you would have been able to wall off a lot better than I could have. Maybe even keep that zealot out, and maybe even win that fight, even if it was an even fight.
Okay.
Um,
All right,
just
all right, I'm gonna stop you here.
okay.
There's way too much hesitation in what you're saying. You're not even sure if you're saying things that are correct, good, or relevant. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's break down the categories of things that you can look at. Let's take the most simple one that we've been trying to work on the main point this entire time, and that's economy. The states of our respective economies. I'm going to, let's see, just right now, highlight all the guys that I have in my main that are mining. And just see that they're 25. At my natural, all the guys, actually no, it would be 27 because the two guys that are inside those gases. At my natural, I've got 25 actually, at my natural. So 25 in my natural, 27 I said in my main.
Mm-hmm.
Actually 26 is two guys are on the way out. 26, 25. At my third, there's going to be a third flight on there, but the whole point is that even distribution of probes in my main and my natural means even mining maximum efficiency out of both of those bases. Let's see where you're at. Let's look at your main. You have got 27, 29 in your main. In your natural, you have 21, I think that is. Yeah, 21. So you have a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of a discrepancy there. And if we look at the spending tab, our nexuses were at pretty much the same time, right?
Yeah.
I've managed to mine 1,500 more than you. And if we can trace this back to the distribution of our probes right when we each got our natural expansion done. And we transferred some probes, and that meant that I was mining more efficiently in the same amount of time with a similar amount of probes, and it gave me a 1,500 resource lead over you. So, boom, bam, chapow, there's economy. Let's take a look at army. Another very simple thing, because it's literally just what is on the field. We have, for you, 16 main units in the army, with the 11 sentries, the 4 stalkers, and the 1 zealot. For me, my main army ball is actually 14 units, less by 2. Not the biggest deal. The breakdown for me is 9 sentries, 4 stalkers, a zealot, but I do have an observer, but that doesn't really count right now. Whole point is this is what I have on the field. So
Mm-hmm.
let's go on to a second part of army, and that's what can you make for an army. I've been running on 4 gates. There we go. 4 gates this entire time. I have 4 warpins available, so that means I have the capacity to overtake you even in this if I just had the money to warp a few more units, but I don't. So production on that is looking alright. Plus I have that robo to make more units. I'm getting out a second observer, so that's pretty quick on that. You have used 2 of your Wargate cycles, so you have 2 Wargate cycles available. You have a Stargate that gives you the capacity to get Stargate units. But the big difference about us right now in terms of army is actually the fact that I have the capacity to have a greater army faster than you because of the 4 gateways that are finishing. So within 2 minutes, I will completely overtake you in the terms of what my army will be. And that is something you really, really need to realize because the implications of that are astronomically important. If we were in an actual game, it means that I'd be able to defend against you without too much difficulty, and then attack in 2 minutes, and I will have more than you. And that could mean the game. So there's your army category. Now let's go to tech. What tech do we each have? Look at my forge. I'm now researching my +1 weapons, so that's not quite done yet. Not too bad. I'll have it soon. Blink, halfway done. You touched on Blink already. Don't need to rehash that anymore. You've already hammered that down. So our attack is pretty similar. The only difference is the fact that you don't have a Robo, I do. You have a Stargate, I don't. As far as those two parts of the tech tree go, mine will let me see your stuff faster, which is almost irrelevant because you have the capacity to use hallucinated phoenixes, which would be able to scout me just as efficiently, if not more efficiently than observers, because of the fact that they move very quickly. And you can spread them. You can get 3 hallucinations in half a second and set them across the field and have complete vision of me in 30 seconds. That's a huge, 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 huge strength. I just have an observer on the field that's working its way to see that your third is up. So scouting is also pretty even for another category that we can look at. The last thing that you can actually look at is what are the plans of each player for 5 minutes from now for another category to analyze the replay and see where you really are in terms of the game. My plan, it seems, is upgrades, and I have the capacity to go for a Colossus build, a Mortar build, but it seems that the main focus of me is economy and gateway units. Alright, not too bad.
Okay.
It's still a bit unclear. You haven't thrown down many other things, you're just working on getting out of third base, and you've shown no intention of what you're going to go for with the exception of this Stargate. Not knowing what we had talked about and what we had done and what you have said, this Stargate would say to me, okay, it sounds like we're having a mid-game Phoenix transition or a Void Ray type of attack or something, and that seems a little iffy in terms of its strength. As far as the support goes, you'll have it. You'll have the gateway units to support, force fields to control the units and everything, but you have a Twilight Council that's also not doing anything, so where's the plan in that? Do you want Charge? Do you want Blink? Are you trying to go for one of the Templar trees? Are you trying to go for both Templar trees? Do you just want upgrades? There's less direction looking at what you are specifically going for, and that is where the really big weakness of what your play is right now that we're trying to fix. Because as far as macro goes, you're doing just about fine. Easily platinum diamond level in terms of spending and actually getting bases and everything. So right off the bat, we can just brush off macro for this thing and then now move on to your game plan. You need a 3 base game plan. Give me one.
I don't know one.
Okay.
I really
Theory. Think it through. I'm really focusing on what your thoughts are, where you want to go, what you think is good, because you have the knowledge. You demonstrated this to me yesterday when you were just guessing, because you were right 80% of the time. If you say something horribly wrong or something, I'll tell you, but you haven't done that yet. So, just theory for me right now, starting from scratch, you're going to the game, you want 3 bases, PVZ for example matchup, what do you want at that point?
Okay. A big plan that I would want is to get a lot of High Templar, or either Dark Templar or High Templar, depending on if I want to get some harass in, and then I have that Stargate up so I can make a Fleet Beacon and eventually Archon Toilet for late game. That's my big plan for as if we get that far, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
But in terms of like a mid-game push sort of thing, that's where it kind of gets fuzzy for me, because I want to get a lot of High Templar out so I can use Psionic Storm, but I don't know if that's a very good choice against a Zerg player who's maybe going like Hydralisk or even Mutalisk. because I don't really have that much air defense unless I started building something with this, like a bunch of phoenixes, so I could defend my base and move around the map a lot faster.
Okay. Okay.
So maybe with like a bunch of High Templar, just maybe using a bunch to counterattack if some, and then being able to hold my base with a bunch of sentries and stalkers, and then pushing out with maybe some zealots or something. With my 3 bases, I should have enough economy to make like maybe a 7 or 8 gates, being able to defend myself while I'm still researching, and then upgrades, of course, eventually once I get that far.
All right. So, Archon toilets are endgame. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
That's the simplest thing you can possibly say is Archon toilets are endgame. Good. I like that. You can easily work for that. Let's say you're going to go for that on this game. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this opener that you have in the game that we're looking at right now could actually easily work for an Archon toilet. So tell me I could work for that from here.
From
From
like
here.
the units I have.
The 11 minutes in this game that we have the replay open for and everything.
Okay, first I would start my fleet beacon as soon as possible so I could get a mothership, and definitely build the Templar archives so I could start researching Psionic Storm probably first.
Okay.
And I want to get a lot of High Templar out so I can make it, so I can use that Psionic Storm and maybe a lot of blinks, actually use a lot of blink stalkers. And with the sentries that I have, I want to be able to defend my base and maybe use some hallucinations to scout, because if they're not that resource intensive, except for the fact that like maybe a mothership, I'm gonna have enough. I need to have enough minerals for that, and if I'm just wasting my sentries with hallucinations when I could have had an observer out or a phoenix just scouting previously.
Okay.
So there's sentries for defense and then stalkers. And then maybe I could transition maybe to like a zealot charge if I see a lot of hydralisks being built.
Alright, okay, that... Why do you think charge lots against Hydras? And think about your entire army composition, because it's not just the charge lots you'll have against the Hydras. What would make that strong against the Hydra push?
I don't know.
You said it for a reason. What was your reason? It could literally be as simple as you've seen in the game. Give me something.
Thinking.
Okay. Come on.
Zealots, they're just being able to get in there with the charge. And
Good.
they're not weak against, like, I mean, sure you have blink stalkers that can get away and maybe get in really fast, but they're pretty light.
Alright, but literally you hit the main point that is good for charge lots against Hydras, is that they enclose the gap.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's honestly like the only point you need to say. An add-on to that, though, would be because you're already going for the High Templar tech, and you have a lot of sentries from the early game, is quite simply, you eliminate the Hydra's ability to be microed. If you can force field behind them, have the charge lots already engaging them, and you land down 3 storms, and that is it, in between the force fields and the zealots, you've immediately decimated an expensive and powerful anti-gateway unit, comma, unit for the Zerg. That's what the Hydras are. They're beautifully, beautifully powerful against gateway units. Taking away that investment from the Zerg without taking too many losses, because you've eliminated his army, will allow you to go for an expensive unit and time expensive unit like the Mothership, and allow you to get the gas needed to go for Archons, which would then lead you into the build, the end game that you want. Okay?
Yes.
Cool.
Makes perfect sense.
And literally, I'm using your logic, just so you know. I'm taking your thoughts and just tweaking them a little bit so you can actually do them without dying. Because these ideas that I'm saying, they're yours. It's just me adding in a little bit of my own experience and everything into it to really make it work. Okay. And...
Okay.
I kind of tempted. Let's just continue, even though we've hit an hour and 20 minutes. Do you want to?
I need a break.
You need a break? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then I might. JT, do you want to do some of your PvP stuff? Because I can just do some. I can do some help with you for that if you want. Um, and you can take a break, do whatever you want. Quick, Quinn.
Yeah.
I just called you Quip. I just took out the N out of your name, so sorry about that. Yeah. But this is good. I mean, take a break, sit back, think a little bit, do whatever you want, and we can do more in return with this. But you've got a lot to think about considering these last few games that we've done. Because that's pretty much what I'm hammering you right now is macro and thinking. Because if you can
Yeah.
macro and you can think, you can literally just change your army composition based on what you scout, and you will be in a very good position. And that's literally what I want you to do, is be able to read in macro, and you're good. You don't
That's
even
what
need to
I'm going
micro
to
at
be
this
able to
point.
do.
Good. Alright. Let's see. Did JT say anything? I'm going to message him. So, if you wanted to call or whatever, you can do whatever you want. You can stay on. I'm just going to contact JT.
All right. I'm going to head out for a bit.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. Alright, so let's see what's going on in the chat, guys.